Hey guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel. Great to be back on another video, guys, on map making. It's been a while, and I've just been busy with personal stuff, and we've been away for a bit, and then it was Easter weekend, so yeah, haven't done a video in a while. But anyway, nice to be back, guys. Yes, today's video is going to be awesome. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it with me. It's going to be a long video, so sit back and relax, grab your favorite drink, and let's get stuck in. So what we're going to do today is we're going to create a custom farm silo. Now, there is a few ways to tweak it, just to have extra fruit in it, which you can tip with a trailer. But what I want to do today is put a bale trigger onto the silo or next to the silo, so that you can actually put bales there and have the bales being shredded and then put into your silo as, say for instance, if you've put a grass bale, it will store it as grass, and then you can unload it into the trailer. So let's hope we can get that all done. It's going to be interesting to see if we can actually get it to work. I've never really done such an advanced modification of a silo, so it should be very interesting to get it going and get it to work. So yes, as I said, if this is your first time on my channel, a warm welcome to you. Remember to like and subscribe. It's really important. It helps my channel grow, and it also helps the algorithm to put my videos out there for everyone. So yes, guys, so without further ado, let's just get stuck in. Alright, so what I've done here is I've put just a copy of the Alpine map. This is a fresh one. It's not my test map, but it's a fresh one, so that we don't have all kinds of funny stuff on it, So let's first import just a standard Farmer 400 silo. So that's the one I'm going to work with. And I want to go up here to Farming Simulator 22. That's my installation directory, data, placeables, and then obviously Unia is where the farmers is, and then Farmer 400. So we're just going to import a Unia Farmer 400. Oh my word, sorry, I didn't want to open it. Well, I'm going to leave this open there. We have to actually import it, file import. And the reason I import it is so that I can place the triggers easily without, how can I say, you'll see what I mean. So let's just go back to Farming Simulator 22, data, placeable, Unia Farmer 400, and there it is, the 400 R3D. Now what I'm going to do, because I'm going to obviously modify this a bit, I'm going to put this in the placeholders folder. So I'm going to cut it out here, and then just go into map, I think it's locations, on the Alpine map, main farm, and there's the placeholder. So I'll just drop it in there so that it's not affecting our game, so that this one that's here will be ignored by the game, but we can still see it in the editor. Alright, so this rotation and stuff here is actually just for the map, for our XML, obviously. So I've made a little spot here where I want to place this silo or farm silo just for the fun, and in the actual map there's actually the same silo up here, so it doesn't really matter. So we will get stuck in and modify this boykie here. Now how it's going to work now, in order to find a bale trigger, I've looked around before the video obviously and done a few tests to see what works and what doesn't work, but the best one I could find is on the BGA. It's got a bale shredder trigger on it, so we're going to import the BGA as well, and I'm just going to chuck it anywhere here on the map. It doesn't matter, we're going to delete it anyway. Again, import, and then placeables, Planet ET, BGA 99 is the one that we're going to use. Alright, and just drop it in here. Alright, and we just want to harvest some triggers off that and get some stuff out of its XML to transfer into the silos XML. So that's the process that we're going to follow. Sorry for that. So the first thing we want to have a look at is this format of the BGA. And what we want to do is find the, where is it? Collisions test production point. Can it be in there? Can't remember now. Do I just play a trigger marker? Let me just go to that. Oh my word. Where is my form now? Now I'm confused. I'll just put it here close by. Control B. I know it's got this like a Silo Kings mixer thing in here. There it is. So that's the one we want. Why don't I see it here now? Yeah, mixer unloading, man. That's the one we want. Right, that's the triggers here. Mixing, unloading in front. So this is triggers that's made for the ground on the surface in front. So what we're going to do is just take this. We're going to duplicate this like so, and then cut it, Control X. We're going to go to our silo, which is this one, and have a look at our silo. What I want to do is just add, it doesn't matter where you add it really, but to keep the format of the thing going, I'm just going to place it in the silo under its unloading station. You see, there it is, the unloading station. So I'm going to drop it in here, Control V, just like that. Right, so we need to have a look at the triggers as well and bring these triggers over, because now at the moment they are somewhere else, somewhere strange. Yeah, it's lying in the wrong spot. So we're going to place it just here, close to the silos unload trigger. So I was thinking maybe next to it here, you know, something like that. Control B, just bring them all in close here. And we can align them in the, just want to see what that last thing is. It's the AI node. I wonder if we're going to need the AI node for it. I'll leave the AI node because in case you want to make use of the AI, you know. So yeah, let's just leave it all there. So this trigger is just for at this point just for looking nice, you know. It doesn't really matter that much, because we're going to export it back into our into its own R3D in our map. So at the moment we've just imported them from the in-game folders into our map, so that they're not usable yet, because if you leave it like this, nothing will work, because you need the XML to define all the mappings and all the working parts of it. All right, so this is the part where we're going to now export it. I think we've got everything in there. I hope so. So I'm going to select the main transform of it and go File, Export Selection with Files. And then I'm going to go into my map folder, which is currently on the mods, and Map Alpine. It's this one here, Map Alpine. And I don't have a placeables folder yet, so I'm going to quickly create one. Just so that if you have, like I already have a placeables, it's fine. And then I'm going to put it in, say, farm silo, like that. I want to have that S with a capital, because that's normally how they do it here in Farming Simulator. And then obviously also here, farm silo, like that. Good. And then save. And then when it gets to these two questions, very important, just say yes to both, because we want to leave everything pertaining to this whole setup we have. We want to leave it on the in-game folders, so that it doesn't transfer it into our map folder. So if we now go to our map folder, let me just have a look where it is. Map Alpine. Oh, we are, both of these are in the in-game. So let's go into mods, Alpine, maps, Map Alpine, and then placeables. And there's our farm silo. And now you should only have these two files. It's the shape file and the R3D of our new silo. So this is now the custom silo. So we've basically taken the standard farm silo, just modified it a little bit, and then saved the modified one in our map folder. So that's where we are at the moment. Great. So the next thing we want to do is get back to that game folders. Sorry, it's here, and copy this XML for this Unia from the in-game. We want to copy that to our map folder as well. So I'm going to go Control C for that. Go to my map, This is my map where the new R3D is. Paste it in there. Doesn't matter where you put this, but we're going to have to extensively modify that to sort of get into terms of what we've done on the actual one in the map. All right. So now, the one in the map now is going to be ignored because it's in the placeholders folder. So this is just for us to see where it is in relation to the game, you know. So if we go into or onto our transform for it, then we have our positioning data there, you see, which is important because we need that to tell the game where this silo is. What we can actually do is once we've got this into the XML, the placeables XML, we can delete this. Don't need it in the map because it's going to be loaded via the XML anyway, you know. So I'm just going to minimize that for now and then open my silo, because now once you've exported anything from the map or from your map, you have to come back and zero the transform. So you just zero all this here by the rotation as well, very important. And once you've zeroed all that, it should all be well. Now in this thing I want to have a look at that triggers. This one here. That one there. I just want to have a look at this thing here. So what I want to do is grab this translation here, Control Shift and C to copy it, and then just transfer that to all these triggers, Control Shift and V, like so. Oh, that's not right. Why has it moved it now? I do suppose that doesn't really matter, but anyways, Control Shift and V. I just want them to be aligned properly, you know. There you are, AI node. Alright, so now the three center points for this three transforms are exactly on par, you know. So if I now click on that, come to the side, I know for a fact one of them was a bit higher, and I think it was the Bale trigger. It was a tiny bit higher. I didn't make a note of that now, how much higher, but yeah, it's just like that should be fine, I think. Just lift it up a little bit. I know the Bale trigger is or the actual trigger for the Bale when it falls, it's a bit higher than the actual unload trigger, you know. So yeah, I'll just leave it like that. It should be all right. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is now modify our XML, but I first need to save this, obviously. Get back to our map folder. So this is now our map folder. So we want to open this XML, and we also want to open, obviously, the XML from the Planet ET. Not Planet ET, but Plan ET or Planet. The 99 kilowatt, which we've modified. So we want to now transfer the working parts of the XML into our silos XML. So there's two things or a few things that we need to do. The markers. Oh, I didn't bring the markers over. That's one thing I forgot about. The trigger marker. Did we bring the trigger marker over? Let me just have a quick browse. That's just, there's no marker. So we need to go back into the map. Let's just go back into the map. Oh, sorry guys. Need to find this thing again. Unloaded trigger in front. We need a trigger marker, mixer unloading somewhere. There you go, there's a trigger marker. So we want to copy that over as well. So I'm going to duplicate that. Control X to cut it back into our Uni 400 silo back in here and drop it in there. Alright, so that's very important. We want that marker as well. Now I can't remember where that was, but you know what, guys, I see, but that was before I've moved them. Yeah, they are level here as well, so we're going to have to grab that Bale trigger, lift it up a tiny bit, but we'll do it in sight on the real i3D. But what I wanted to do is just have a look at this marker, albeit somewhere there. Ah, that's perfectly all right. As long as it's close to the center of the square, should be well. Good. All right. So now we need to re-export our whole silo. So we're going to go File, Export, Selection with Files. Make sure we are on our map, on our farm silo. You don't want to overwrite something in game. You know, that will be very tragic. We're going to replace it, but before I do that, I want to just close this, okay, because it's open now and I want to overwrite it. Yes. Alright, so now it's overwritten that one, and I'm going to minimize this again, go back into our farm silo, just open the actual one that we've exported just now and re-zero that that transform, because the main transform will have picked up from the in-game the positioning, you know, and you don't want it there. You want it at 0, because when you import it via the placeables XML, it's going to have the data in there where it needs to be positioned. Alright, so I hope it makes sense, guys. Great. So now silo, where is it? Unloading station, and then in here we should now have our marker, you see. And then I wanted to just have a quick browse at this thing. It is a bit higher, so it should be all right. I'm not going to fuss with it too much. So have a look at unloading station, -0 to 5. Just want to make sure of the height, guys. That's what I'm busy trying to figure out here. Unloading station. So so when we have that, so I check the height of that. .031 on the Y. I think it should be alright. If it's a problem, if the Bale doesn't work, then we can just lower it a bit. But the thing is, I have placed it on the ground. When I click Control B, it normally levels your the thing that you place, it levels it onto the ground, you know, so which is where you want it. That's the one reason why I've done that in game, to get the heights sorted out. Because if you do it in here, there's no way that you can see it unless you bring in a plane. If you go create primitive plane, you can drop a plane at 0, 0, you know, where you will then obviously have a bit of depth, because at the moment you can't see where what is, you know. You don't know what point is 0. But if you do put a plane down, I'll just quickly show you how to do that. And if you drag that plane a bit bigger, you know, like so, then now you have a reference point for triggers and things, which might help a bit if you get lost. But I think, like you can see there immediately, the bottom green line is just under the soil, or under the 0 level, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. All right, so let's leave it like that. I'm going to just delete the plane again because we don't want the plane there, and then save it. All right, so everything is now honky-dory. I want to just minimize this so that I can make it smaller, because we're going to start working with the XML now. So now we're not worried about the looks of the things, but we do want to have this info here. All right, so what a mouthful. So back into our map folder and our XML. So our XML is open and the BGA. Now the trigger marker. So the first thing under trigger markers, we want to find the trigger marker for the marker icon for the trigger mixer marker, that one there. All right, so we're going to copy that, go into our Farmer 400, find its trigger markers. There it is, and just add this one there. Press home, Control V, and there it is. All right, so it is ID is unload, which is important, but we leave everything as is because it's working at the BGA. That's why it's always good to find something that is exactly similar to what you want to do. Then you don't have to go and fiddle with the names of things and stuff like that. You know, even my names here, I'm just going to leave it as is, because in this BGA, the unload trigger mixer marker is already named in game. So the 110N will already pick that name up as that marker icon, you know, so that's fine, and we won't have a problem with that. Good, so that's the trigger marker sorted. So that's the one thing we've copied. And then in our mappings, very important stuff. But first, before we get to the mappings, we need to, it's not a production, so we don't need production. It's not a sailing station. It's storage, that's fine. Player triggers, sounds, R3D mappings. Just thinking. We're definitely gonna need this unload trigger, guys. So we're gonna have to add the unload trigger. Trigger front, not that one. I'm just looking for the right one to take, because it's the one that says unload trigger. It was the unload trigger in front, Bale trigger in front. Yeah, this is the trigger that we want. So we need to, yes, there's the AI node as well. All right, so there's two triggers. It's the one in that little bowl, the mixing bowl, which will be the mixer, and this is the one in front. So this trigger, we're going to definitely need those to copy over. Control C, back into here, and find our silo. So I'm going to put this under the unloading station because we are under the unload. Yes, so I'm going to put it under the unloading station. Drop that in there, press home, Control V, and add our triggers there. Now, a very important, we need to now have a look at what bales we want to add to our silo. So obviously we don't want sugar beet cut in there, and we don't want manure in there, so we're going to have to quickly just have a look at that. I'm thinking, what do we want to add? It will be grass. Let's just go to the BGA, because I'm sure we're going to have to find here. You know where we want to get it? We're going to get that from the normal. I will show you now. FS22 data placeables. Let's go into Map Alpine. Sailing station Bales. There you go. So if we open this sailing station Bales, here we go. That's what we want. So all the stuff is already here for us. So we can just take this whole line here. Silage, sugar beet cut. The sugar beet cut we don't really want in there. unless you want it in there, you can leave it, but I'm going to take it out. So what we want to do then now is just overwrite this, but put here into there. So we've got straw, we've got hay, we've got grass, we've got silage, and then sugar beet cut and forage. Do you get forage bales? Just thinking now. Forage bales. I'm not sure if you get forage bales. No, you don't get forage bales. So I'm going to just remove that, because this is just for the bale trigger, guys. And then obviously we copy that line now like that, drop this into there as well at the unload trigger. All right, so the actual full root node, the exact full root node, the full types for that, as well as the unload trigger, both of those are in. Great stuff. All right, so that is, I think, the silo done. The next thing we want to do is just go down the list, storages, that should be all fine. Now, by the mappings, this is the most important part. If you don't do the mappings, nothing will work. So now we need to find the stuff that we've taken over. That's the bale trigger, unload trigger mixer marker. There you go. Unload trigger front, bale trigger front, the AI node. So unload trigger front, so that 3, we need to copy those back in here. Now the positioning where we should put that is obviously going to be here by our index path. So what we want to do is have a look at this. So our index path is 0034, so we're going to go for 00340. So find 0033004. So in here, just make a few lines open so we have some space. So then now we need to just balance this nodes so that they are the same as the i3D, so that the XML will call the right element out of the i3D. Because otherwise, if your node numbers here is wrong, you will just have errors in the game, though child and this parent and whatever, it's not found, and I don't know what all else, you know. So, or only so many children is given, and I don't know what all else, parents missing their children, you know, that type of thing. So we want to just have that right. So the unload trigger front is that one. So I'm just going to copy this, Control C, and just drop it in here, overwrite that piece, Control V. So that's 0034 00340. Okay, that sort of looks like it's right. And then bale trigger in front will be that one, Control C, bale trigger in front, good stuff. And the last one, unload trigger front AI node. Okay, front AI node, Control C. I'm just leaving this AI node, guys, in case you want to have AI work on this bale trigger, you know. So yeah, then there is a node for it to connect to. And the node is there for your spline. So if you run your AI spline, it will actually connect to this node. That's what the node is for, guys. So yeah, just to let you know what that is. All right, and then obviously our marker, we don't have a mapping for our marker, so we need to go back to the BGA and find that bale mixer marker. I think that's the one, but let me just make sure. Mixer marker, yes, it's mixer marker. So what we want to do is copy the mixer marker as well. Control C, drop this in here, Control V, and that i3D, in the i3D we want to grab this one here for the marker. Control C to copy that, and then lastly Control V there. Okay, so I think that is all the the i3D stuff, but then the last thing we need to do is at the base we want to call our i3D now, not the in-game Farmer 400 anymore. So we need to change that to if we go now to our farm silo and grab our directory here from the map. So it's maps, map alpine placeables, farm silo, and then farm silo i3D. So I'm going to just click in here and then highlight everything past my map folder. So this is my map folder, and then just highlight the rest, Control C, back into the XML, and then overwrite this whole front piece up to the last /. Just paste that in there, overwrite and correct all the backslashes to be front slashes. Do not leave them backslashes, guys. If you leave them backslashes, same error, can't find the i3D. So the XML will give an error. You will have an error for the XML that's saying it can't find this i3D because you've got a typo here. You know, so don't forget that. And then obviously the name is now farm silo.i3D. So I'm just going to click on this once, click on it again. So Windows will highlight it, Control C, go back into the XML, double click the Farmer 400, Control V, and it will paste for us the correct name there, so you don't make spelling typos. That's why I love copying, pasting, you know, because it just sorts out spelling errors. I've many times, guys, in the past struggled for hours, and then just at the end of the day to find out there's a typo or just one little space where there shouldn't be a space, or a little dot or a point or some mark that shouldn't be there, and just sort out all the headaches for you, you know. Okay, so save that. Well, guys, I've just made myself a nice fresh cup of tea. So don't close any of your XMLs yet. Just keep everything open in case you need to, you know, move some stuff about and modify stuff, so you don't have to open and close, you know, that type of thing. So it just saves yourself a lot of time. Anyway, so our next thing that we need to do is do the fill types. Now, when we pasted this stuff in here into the fill types, this is the XML for the silo. So what we need to do now is also add these to the fill types. So we're going to quickly have a look at the fill types. I don't think my map has a fill type. Let's have a look quick. Yeah. So what you do if your map doesn't have a fill type, I think I've modified mine and deleted it for the video, you know. So it doesn't really matter. I'm going to show you fresh how to install a fill type and get it all working. So by default, if you've done a custom map from one of the in-game maps, they will all root from the map XML is where your fill type is called. So you open your map XML and then just search for the fill types. Here's mine. You can see mine is already showing it's got a fill types in the map, but it will be $data, whatever, you know, that will be in front. So you just take out the $data, and then my fill types I'm going to put in at maps, map alpine, and then map fill types. So it will be in the same directory here as where the map i3D is. Alright, so I'm going to just copy any of the I'll use the map alpine fill types because that fill types is designed for the map alpine, and it's got, you know, all that sell points for the chocolate and all the stuff that's in the alpine map. So I'll rather use the fill types for that. If your map is the US map, use the US one, and if you've got a copy of the French one, do the French one. You know, it just makes sense. So let's go to Farming Simulator 22 data maps, and then I'm gonna go alpine and then just grab the fill types here, map fill types. There it is. I'll Control C, go back to my map here on top, and then just drop it in here, Control V. So now this fill types, if we open this up, what's going on here? Cross window. You know what, I didn't realize that. Sorry guys. So we need to use the fill types that's in the root of the maps folder for Farming Simulator 22. So instead of going into the map, we go back one folder to the maps, and there will be a fill types there. That will be the complete thing. Here we go. Yeah, Great. Okay, so we're going to copy this full types and use that one in our maps. So copy that one. Just want to make Control C, make sure I've got it. I'm going to go back to my map. So my map is FS22 Alpine, maps, map Alpine. So I'm going to drop it in here, just like that. Just replace that one, and now we can open it up. Alright, so here we are. So here on top, if you look at the top bar, you can always pause the video, guys. Anytime that you miss something or whatever, just pause the video, rewind it a little bit until you see what you want to see, and then you can read what you want to read. It makes sense that way, you know. So here on top you can see I'm in my map folder, maps, map Alpine, and then maps full types is the one. And I'm in my mods folder, which means it's my map, it's not the in-game one. Otherwise it will be data, you know, maps Alpine, and that type of thing, you know. Wow. Sorry for the slurping in the background. Now, what we need to do here, we don't have to add a full type for it, because it's already part of the game. Bales, grass, and that is already part of the game. But you scroll down here to the bottom, where the full type categories is. Now this is where it's going to become interesting. Right, so what we're going to do now is have a look at in the full type categories. You'll see there's a farm silo. Now how it works is in your categories, this is a change that came into Farming Simulator, which actually works better than to put the full type categories in your XML. So it's better to have it in your full types here. Then what happens is you can now specify farm silo, and then all the farm silos in the whole map will use this category. So all you need to do in your XML for the farm silo, which is already done for you, you'll see here under storages it falls under farm silo. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new one called farm silo new, like so, full type category. All right. So that way we can specify a new full type. Otherwise, the Bales is going to be ignored by the other silos, you know, which might be a problem. But we will have a look. I'm going to try it this way and see. So we're going to create a new full type category called farm silo new. Just save that again, and then back to our full types. Grab this one, Control C, copy it, create a new line, Control V, drop it in there, and then just call it here new, farm silo new. And now at the end of it we're going to add our things that we want to add to that full type. So all we need to do is grab these here, Control C, copy that back into our full types, and just remember to make a space between your things, guys. There must always be a space between them. Silly little mistake like that can cause you many headaches and errors in the game if you don't have a space there, you know. So there we go. So we've added a farm silo new as a new full type. Okay, so all we also have to do now, just want to have a look if there's any sounds that we need to modify. I don't think so. It doesn't look like it, because these sounds are for the fruit, not for the type category. Alright, so now that that is done, we save that, and hopefully all is well. Remember to modify your map XML to your new full types that you've added. If you've already got a full types, then you don't have to modify anything here. All you need to do is open it up and do the changes here in the categories. Alright, good. So I think we are round about at the spot where we need to check it out and see if all is well. Just want to see if it's zeroed. Oh, we still need to do the placeables and the store items. So the next thing, placeables, guys. Obviously now we've created this nifty new farm silo, and I can actually close this one now because we're done with it. Actually I shouldn't have closed it. But what we want to do now is we want this farm silo, this one here, to be placed via our placeables XML using this data here. So we need to add those to the placeable.xml. So in order to do that is find your map. In your map somewhere will be the placeables.xml. If you don't know where it is, just open your mod placeables is called from the map XML once again. So if you open your map XML, just get to my map XML, there it is. Control F and just type in the placeables like that. Am I talking trash? Placeables. Is it called from your mod desk? Probably. Let me have a look quick, guys. I might be mistaken. It should be here in this line. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So the default placeables XML file is here. Map Alpine placeables. So that will give you the directory where it is. If you don't know where it is, just to make sure you understand the process. So every XML that sets up your map in the game needs to be called from somewhere, because otherwise the game won't know about it. So here it is. It's in here. But what is called then from your map.xml? I know there was one of the things that was called from here. Farmlands I know is called from here. Growth I know is called from here. The store items, man. Sorry, it's the store items. The store items is called directly out from the map XML. I don't know why they put the store items in here, but anyway, it is in the map.xml. It would have made sense to have it in the mod desk, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so we have to have our mod desk open. Is this my maps mod desk? Yes, it is. And we have to put some store items in here, and then we also need our placeables.xml. So let me just open that, get my placeables open. There it is. So now right at the bottom of the placeables, we're going to add a line that calls our silo. Now, if you don't have a line, or you don't know how to create a line, don't go bother to try and figure out what to put there. It is actually much simpler and easier if you just place it in game. So you open the game, take the default, one of the default maps, buy the item you want, put it in a spot anywhere on the map, save the map, and go into that save game here by Farming Simulator 22 in your documents folder this time. So that will be, if I open a new window, in your documents folder there, under My Games, Farming Simulator 22, your save game will be in here. And in your save game, if I can just find one with some stuff in it, don't think I'm going to have one now. Oh, in my backups, there will be one. Backups, save game backups. Here we go. So if you go in here, you will find a placeables.xml, and the very last item in your placeables will be the new item that you've added. So you open that, copy that lines into your placeable, and just modify it according to what we're going to do now. All right. Okay, so then you're up to speed. Okay, so placeables, guys, we want to just grab the map Alpine. I know there's a Farmer 400 in the map Alpine, so I'm just going to go into the in-game maps, data maps, map Alpine, the placeables for that. So I'm just grabbing for my silo that I've got now, just going to grab the line here. It's going to be Farmer. I can actually probably look for it, but it's much faster to search, guys. So there it is. So we're going to copy this line, Control C, and go to our placeables. Just make sure we are on our mods, FS20 Alpine, my map. Yes, so it is my placeables. Drop the line in there. So that's exactly the line that you will get in the save game. All right. And then what we're going to do now is modify this directory to pull our XML, this one that we've modified, not the in-game one. Alright, so we're going to go into, I think I've already got that line in my, where is it? Selling Station Bales? No, it's here, in the Farming 400 by the i3D. So I can copy this line here, like so, up to the last /, Control C, so that's my directory to the XML. Alright. So there we go, in there, overwrite this up to the last /, Control V. So maps, map Alpine, placeables, farm silo. Now I need to go to the farm silo directory, which is in my map again. I'm going a lot to and fro, guys, so just keep up with me. Just check my directories, pause the thing, and make sure you follow, you know, because it's like this way, that way, this way, that way, to get everything together. So in Maps Alpine, Placeables, Farm Silo, there's the i3D. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to copy that name, Control C. Sorry, it is not the Farm Silo. We need the XML, guys. Sorry for that. You click on it once, wait a half a second, click again, it will give you that highlighted option there. Just Control C, go back to the XML, and then double click here, Control V, just to make sure that if you've changed the spelling or anything, you know it is done. Alright, so just follow that step by step and you will be okay. Alright, so that is now the XML called. Now we need to put position in there. Default form property and form ID 1 is always handy if this is on your default form. If it's something that's on a second form, obviously you need to go form ID 2, and then also in your XML there's going to change some stuff in there too. We might as well do it for this one just to show you, but let's first just finish this line here. Okay, so we're going to go into our map once again, click on the main transform for the whole thing, select the first line on the X for the translate or for the position. Don't know why they call it translate. My word, just call it position, you know, or what else can it be called? But not translate, guys. Control Shift and C to copy everything in the X, Y, and Z back to the XML, and then just select the whole position. Now here they've got position, you know. Hello. You know, my word, you know, it's not rocket science, guys. I don't know why stuff needs to be so difficult. And then for the rotation also, first one, select Control Shift and C back to the XML and put the rotation in. Alright, so that is our line done for the, and do make exactly sure, guys, that you don't overwrite these inverted commas. They need to be there. If you overwrite one of them, there will be a problem and you'll have an error, and the game will reject this whole line. Nothing will show up in game, you know, if there's one error in this line. Okay. Alright, so that is our Placeables XML done. So let's save that, keep it open for changes. This in-game one we can close. Now we need to go to the mod desk. Now in order for the mod desk, we need to have store items. I like to put my store items nowadays in the mod desk, because I've realized that when you put it in the store items.xml, there's some errors that pop up sometimes. Not with all the mods, but with a lot of them it pops up. And when you put it in the mod desk, then those errors don't occur. So it's better and safer just to put everything in your mod desk. So what we're going to do then is open the in-game maps once again, find a store items XML, and just copy the first two lines like that. Just highlight them, line 3 and 4. Control C, go back to our mod desk, and don't put anything below this mod desk. Can you see the gray line, guys, coming from the top right down? And this is true of any XML. It needs a start. If you click on the mod desk on top, it opens the mod desk for you and it closes it with that little /. So if you click on the open one, it will highlight the closed one as well for you. And then there's a line going right from the top down to the bottom. Now if you paste something below this, like if I paste something there now, can you immediately see that the red line doesn't go to the top anymore? And if I click here, it's not included in the mod desk. You know how many people I've helped with this problem before, and it's a simple error to do, guys. Don't paste anything below the bottom of any XML. It needs to be inside of the XML for it to be included in the XML. Alright, so here we go, guys. Store items. Now we need an end for the store items, so all we're going to do is Control C, copy the first and paste it here, and then just add our / in there. Alright, so there you go, store items, all done. And now all we need to do is get this store items from what the store items do, guys, just to give you an idea, we can close this one now because we're done with it. If you go to your XML for the thing that you've busy, if it's a placeable or whatever, the store data here is what that is looking at. So this caller here calls the XML, this one, it will call the farmer 400, but it will look at this store data. That sets this unit or this placeable up in the game under your store. So if you press P to buy something, it will put it there and it will tell you it's a placeable. It will be under the buildings category under the silos tab. So that under brush is exactly where you will find the item. So if you're going to look for this, it will be in the this exact spot in the game in the store. That's what the store items is. So just to give you some more info on that, you know. Great. So the modest. So we want to go to the placeable, grab this whole line between the inverted commas this time, Control C, copy it, and just override this whole thing in the inverted commas. So everything in between, highlight it, Control V, overwrite it, and we are done. Save the modest. Now we might need to add that new fill type. I will just test it quickly. If it doesn't work, we will just revert back. I'll show you what to do. So what we can do now is just collapse all, save the map, just make sure it's exporting, and then once that is done, we're going to go into this here, Farming Simulator 22, and let's just open the map and see what happens. It will be interesting. Great stuff. Ian's Alpine map. There we go. Start. Forgot about these two mods that I need to take out. It's the stuff I'm busy doing for other guys. Great, man. So let's have a look. I normally have my console open, but I've been asleep now. I forgot. And there's a yellow line going by, which obviously means there's a problem. But let's just get rid of this terrible white screen. Change name, escape, sorry, just confirm. There we go. Now we can go up and see what this is. Okay, placeable util maps, map Alpine placeables, farm solo, farmer 400. Okay, I'm going to quickly have a look at that. So now which will mean I think the farmer 400, because we've got a custom one now, I just want to quickly have a look, because it's already in the game as a farmer 400, and now we've made a new one. I haven't had this problem before, so I just want to have a quick browse if my stuff is right. Farmer 400.xml. Okay, you know what? Placeables. That's my problem, guys. I forgot. Rewind. There needs to be dollar data here in front. Not dollar data. Dollar map there, and then dollar. And forward slash, like that. Very important, guys. If you put something from your map folder, the game needs to be told that it's in your map directory, and then from your map name, which directory after that. So it's map there, whatever your map name is. That's why they've put it in dollars. So map there refers to your map name, and then maps, map Alpine. All right, so now it will work. So it immediately tells you it couldn't find farmer400.xml, you know, so it couldn't find store data for that in this XML, which doesn't exist according to this directory which I had in here. Right, so let's quickly run back into the game. Before I do that, let me just get rid of that two mods. It's the butcher, and then there was another thing, a tree, and then there was I think it's that too. Just want to quickly drop them in my mods 1 folder in here. Alright, so there you go. Let's go back into the game. Farming Simulator 22. Alright. Now, I think it will be alright now. Alpine map. Winter Carbon. Where did that come from? It's probably got another name. Anyways, this time around we can have a look at the whole XML, the whole console as it scrolls by. So here we go. That looks good. No errors, guys. That little red errors you saw was from the collectibles, which I haven't set up on this map, obviously. And now, there already you can see our silo standing there, which is a very good sign. And we should have 3 icons. You see our bale dropping spot. You can now obviously place this with a little corner markers, you know, if you want to. And this is our trigger marker that we've set up. Remember the trigger marker in the XML? That is it there with its little i3D mapping and everything. So it's quite handy to have these little floating icons. I like them. They're a little bit better for me than just a thing in the in the PDA. So we are here. There's the PDA icon. You can go to visit and you'll get the teleport. Working great. Great. So let's test it, guys. It's good to have it here and thinking about it and whatever. What I want to do now is just first check my grass. Okay, so we have got no grass in storage. Grass, hay and straw. That's the 3 things we've added. So let's take a bale. Go F12. How do you do this again? Grass. There's a grass bale. There's a hay bale. And there's a straw bale. So that's 3 things we want to put in the silo and see if it works. Oh, it's immediately went in. So if you drop your bales on it, it shreds it, and we should now have that's 3 items in our storage. There you go. Have a look at that, guys. No errors. Is there no errors popping up from putting that in? Always good to refer back to your log file just to have a check. Okay, first time, guys. I'm really impressed. Just want to run through forestry, missing terrain layer, AI priority. I don't know what that is. I haven't seen that before. It's definitely not part of our things here. That warning and emissive, it's part of the game. It's an error, and the red cheeses and collectibles. It's got nothing to do with our custom silo. And these are warnings for my zip files in my mods folder, so that's nothing to do with that. So there you have it, guys. All done and dusted. I'm quite chuffed with our mods, guys. Our modded silo. So I think it came out very nice. And now obviously you can place this anywhere because it's a placeable now. You can put it anywhere in your map. Set it up via the placeables XML. And just to confirm, guys, quit game. I don't want to save. Sorry for that. I'm having tea with some nice honey and lemon, and I think the lemon is a bit strong. I've maybe added too much lemon. Anyways, okay, that's in game. Back to our map folder, which is this one here. What I want to do now is go back to my map, take this one, placeholders, Uniformer 400. I can now delete this because it's not needed in the map. Save it. You don't need it in the map anymore because you've already got the position data for it, and it's being loaded via this XML. And here is the actual silo. So this is the one that the XML places, not the one in your map. The one in your store item in the placeholders folder is not the one being loaded. This is the one being loaded, guys. So don't get confused. There's a lot of people that don't understand the placeholders folder, but that's how the placeholders folder work. It's a medium that you can use to put something in your map but be ignored by the game. So it gives you the option to move it around in the map, get position data from it, and then having it called via your placeables XML here. So that's the one that it's loading. It's loading this i3D that's in this XML. So there's our XML and there's our i3D. Oh, one last thing, guys. I forgot. You can add here by your base, you can add a line. If you put this on another form, you need to add this line to it that is going to make it to work. So what you want to do is navigate to the in-game maps, go to maps, says data, placeables, map US, farm buildings, and then farm barn. Okay, so you open the farm barn XML, this one here, and you'll see under its base there's a bought with farmland true key. So you copy this whole line, Control C, just drop it in there into yours, and what happens then, the moment you have this on a third farm or a next farm that's not your default farm, it will and you buy that land. So say you start a game from scratch in that mode where you don't get all the default farms and the default vehicles and whatever. So then this line comes into play. It will be bought with that farm line. So that makes you the owner of this item, this farmer 400. Alright, so you can set this line up in all your placeables that is on other farms. That's not set for default farm property here in your placeables XML. So if it doesn't have this, and then obviously naturally if you set this up on farm ID 2, for instance, here in your placeable farm ID 2, then you will make the default farm property false because it's not default farm. So then you just put a false in there and it will be all well. One last thing I've just remembered, guys, is to modify your loading station. Remember now, when you add stuff to the unloading station, you also need to add the same things to the loading station. And look here at our full top categories. We're at farm silo, which is actually wrong. We have farm silo new now, so we're going to go Control C there and just overwrite these things here, farm silo new, and then also farm silo new there. All right, just like that, and then save, and let's just retest to make sure now that we have all sorted out. So that should definitely do the trick, so that we can unload it again, you know. So sorry, not unload, but load it up, you know. So let's have a quick browse. Just want to see if there's no other naughty stuff flying past from our changes. I did save that XML. I hope so. Let me just make sure. Yes, I did. Alright, so back to the game. Start. Go back. Confirm. Right, so let's quickly check if we can get it out of the silo. Always good to test the whole thing full circle, you know. Not good to just test halfway. I've actually forgot about the unloading or the loading. The unloading is to unload it in, and the loading is to load it from the silo. So yeah, let's just grab some more bales again. A grass one, a hay one, and a straw one. I suppose if the one works, the rest will work too. But I mean, be thorough in your testing as well, you know. Good not to have stuff untested. So just be checking everything more, just to make sure it all works. So back into our silo, and we should now show where's the grass and stuff. Here we go, grass, hay and straw. And now all we need is a tractor and a trailer. So I'm just going to put the buying spot there, grab a small tractor, just grab this Massey. It's only 500 liters, guys, so we can grab virtually almost any trailer. How much thing is this? 1.6, yeah, 1,600. So it should take more than enough space for what we want to get out of the silo, you know. I didn't even check. I hope this trailer can hold grass and things. I'm sure it will. Let's more just be safe than sorry, eh? Rather be safe than sorry. Now this thing is so tiny. Now I'm not under the pipe. I should have bought a bigger one. Oh my word, there it is, straw. If it's there, you can immediately know. Control I. I'll just let's just tip it back. Oh, and that's another thing, guys. You can put the raw stuff in as well. You don't have to do it on the trigger. So if it's not in bale form, you can just tip grass, straw and hay now here, you know, directly into your pit. So there you go. That's your grass working. Everything is working like clockwork, as it should. And then lastly, our last one obviously is the hay. And there you go. Well, that's definitely it, guys. Great, guys. So I hope this exciting venture has been great for you. I've really loved, enjoyed the whole thing with you, and I hope we've all learned something together. This is the first time I've done this, so obviously I've grown by seeing that it works, and I'm quite excited that I've actually managed to make it or get it to work. So yes, kudos for that. I'm very happy with that, very pleased. So I really hope you enjoyed it, guys. Remember to like and to subscribe, guys, and also do share my stuff with your friends and other guys that do play the game. I really like my channel to grow a bit more. I really appreciate you guys for supporting me, and especially for my Patreons. You guys are awesome. I hope you're still enjoying the videos I've put out there for you to enjoy. There's a full map making course, guys, 26 videos at the moment, from start to end, how to make a map. So if you guys are interested in map making, really interested, just join my Patreon and you get to watch all the videos for free and enjoy all of them. They are really intense, exactly like this episode. It was really in detail, and my map making course is exactly like that. We go into great detail, explaining every little thing with lots of tips all about, and all things that I can think of, you know, to help make map making more fun. Anyway, guys, take care, man. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.